You guys probably, you already know that there's so many things that I love about doTERRA in general. That like I love the co-impact sourcing that doTERRA really stands for. I love all the humanitarian efforts that they do with the Healing Hands Foundation. Those are two huge things for me, because I want to feel like I'm part of a company that is like has a lot of integrity, that I can really get behind, that's doing things the right way, the way that I would want to choose to do that. And the fact that they're a debt-free company is a very obvious reason why they get to make those choices about how they spend their money, and what kind of testing they want to opt in for and pay for, that many smaller companies are not able to do. But yet they keep things very like on that small sustainable level, working with just family farmers and things like that. Beautiful stuff. I love that. I love that they have all the advisory boards for the veterinarian panel and the medical advisory board, and they have things even for like mental wellness. And there's so much that doTERRA is doing on even in hospitals, to be able to have that complementary care, and to have like the trials and the basis to be able to show what kinds of awesome benefits the essential oils are when you combine it with some of the other medical treatments and whatnot. So there's so many things I love about doTERRA. But what I think is really cool is also, like, because I love it so much and I want to talk about it because it just thrills me, like I'm very passionate and have a lot of belief about it. But it makes it so that I have a benefit, and I get the training when I know how to tell people about this well. Not only am I helping them, go to Target and find this fantastic shirt that you think is so cool, I don't get a benefit from telling you which rack to go to, or you should get it now because it's on sale for 15% off or whatever. But doTERRA does reward me for um, for being effective and being a good friend, really. Like that's how I consider it. So the topic that we're going over today is getting started. And part of that is just we're kind of cover like the sampling basics. And what I really like to take away from this time is that doTERRA has it set up for you to um, benefit from being a good friend. And I think that's awesome. So we're just going to cover like a little bit of training on like best practices, I guess we could call it, for how to share your love of doTERRA, and for all things health related and stuff like that. How to do that in a really effective way, so that your friends are feeling cared for, and it's helping you to get to a good place where you're actually having some financial benefit from the time and investment of doing that. And I don't feel bad about that. I know sometimes people talk about MLMs beer, like they're so disgusting that, people are trying to attack their friends and family and get them to buy stuff from them or whatever. But it's a totally different view when you're looking at how doTERRA does it. It really it's like not even the same category, because it's so much product driven as opposed to opportunity driven. So that's like one huge difference. But also because we lead with the product in terms of how you are, how you're sharing. And it's really about giving somebody an experience with this sort of essential oil first before you ask anybody to buy. And that's a huge difference. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys actually I should show you this first. Okay, so if you want to know better details than what I can sum up here for you, Elise Chedevy is a fantastic way to get like all the basics from the actual expert's mouth. And you would just go to dailymentorcalls.com, and you'll just click the button that says teach me now, and you just put in your stuff. She's not spammy either. It's really nice how easy and free it makes it, but just to be able to get the resources so you can have the training that you would like to have at whatever level. But here's the other thing, she also makes this Back to Basics workbook. And we're going to take a look at this right now. I'm going to click in here, but just so that you can kind of see when you go to the back to, when um, you follow the link that Marcella's going to put in the chat for you. This Back to Basics digital use one, or the printable, if you want to print it, it's like about 80 pages though. But we're going to be on page 8. So we will scroll to page 8. And, oh, sorry, that's not right. Okay, this is the one. All right, this is what we're going over today. If you wanted to listen to the call number 6, she's going to give a lot more details about this, but I'm just going to go over it briefly. The basic things I need you guys to take away are: take your time giving somebody a sample that's well thought out and make them feel cared for. That's really, it's being a good friend and helping them have a good experience. That's the very best way to get started. And so here's what we do. So super fast growing network marketing company, but our focus is on product. So they get to have an experience with the power of essential oils before ever being asked to purchase. This is what sets us apart from other companies in the industry. So every mom should have an essential oil keychain so that she can access the oils wherever and whenever the need arises. The more contacts you have with a person before they're asked to make a buying decision, the more likely they are to purchase essential oils and to want to build a business with you as well. Like, it's because that relationship is being built, right? So you're being a good friend. Here's some things that you need to know about the actual sample. And I didn't know all these at first, so these are really good. I love that Alicia Debbie walked me through why we do things the way we do it. It really is so much more effective, so much more simple, and not overwhelming. So it feels so much less salesy when I do things this way. I love it. All right, so I don't want to waste any time and any money. So I'm going to follow her thing. We can expect higher attendance rate. 80% of people are going to either show up to that one-on-one that we're doing, out for coffee or something, or online, or large classes when we can get back into those. We're going to have better enrollments and lots of people who want to be connected with the loyalty rewards program. And so here's the basic things we have to do. The samples we give are always free. I haven't always followed that because sometimes I gave huge samples. I would give away like entire bottles of something and as a sample, and that is not an effective way to do it at all. That's just wasting money. It's a gift, and gifts are great. Gifts are fantastic, but we don't call it a sample if you're just gifting. So you sample only one health challenge at a time. That was tricky for me too, because if I had someone who had a digestive problem and the inflammation problem and a skin problem, which I'm thinking of sweet Gina, she was talking to me about another friend of hers the other day. And so I know, like, the idea of sampling for only one health challenge, I want to give them the whole world. I want their health. I want them to be better right now. And so I'm prone to be oversampling, but smart is one health challenge at a time. Choose a health need with an acute symptom, the things that they'll see quick results with. So if you have a choice between sampling somebody for acne or sampling somebody for like fibromyalgia, choose the acne, because we want to see a quick result that will inspire them to think, oh, you know what else this might be useful for? If it works so good for my acne, I wonder what it could do for blah, 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 blah. Everything they want to take that ownership and get that education for. And we sample only one oil at a time because we like to go back and deliver more samples. We would rather take time in that preparation period to show them, okay, so Melaleuca wasn't the perfect fit for your acne. What if we try the HD Clear instead? And then what if we try this other thing, right? So it's okay. It's actually fine. It's good when we have to go back and deliver more samples. If they're from out of town, we change it just a little bit. And okay, here's another tip we have to set the proper expectations for the experience. And here's the last thing: only give 10 to 20 drops of essential oil. We only want it to be enough for a few applications, and that was something, like I said, with the other thing. It was always like much bigger than it should have been. Okay, so here's how we deliver the sample and set expectations. Um, if it's in person, you're doing a porch drop or something like that, that's great. If you have to mail it, then you could do a couple samples for just the one ailment, and but only have them use one at a time. So if it's a sleep issue, they have them try the lavender first, and if that's not working, like, okay, well, the same package, I also sent you Serenity. Let's go ahead and try that for the next couple nights, whatever. So here's what you need. You have to have a sample of the essential oil that you think is going to be most effective, and you also need one of these quick reference essential oil books to give them. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Um, doTERRA has this awesome class in a box, and this has been updated recently and is newly available. So you see, it comes with some of the drams, these smaller bottles that you can just put, like we said, 10 to 20 drops in. And actually, I guess you still have to have the separate ones for the, oh, yeah. Okay, so this is actually the starter sample kit. And notice it does have 48.27 here, but I think at the moment there's actually a sale going on at oillife.com. So you may want to double check the price here. But you can either have like a set of 50 drams that will fit your stuff. There's some stickers to go on the tops of the drams to say this is lavender, this is wild orange, this is peppermint. The A to Z guides, which you can see here, and those are really handy for being able to like have them look up an ailment and see what they should be using for it. And also one of these essential basics books is good for when you're actually doing the class. So there are some sets from oillife.com that are kind of like already have these, including like the keychain that you guys might see. But oops, did I just do something wrong? I did. I'm sorry. Let me go back to this. Okay. So this has also a couple of the keychains for when you're teaching a class like essential oils made easy. You guys are going to learn about that in a different basic business training. So I'm not going to focus on how to teach a class right now, but I want you to know it's very easy to get these supplies, and you're definitely going to be glad that you invested to be able to get this. But so that's all that's really required for to give somebody a sample, is just want that oil and the reference guide. Here's the expectations that you tell them. So, and you're pretty much going to memorize this, guys. Like, just really, it's really, really good. It's well set up, and it's going to give a clear picture. And you want to do this anytime you're giving somebody any kind of sample. So you're going to say essential oils are similar to medication in this way. When you have an ailment and you go to the doctor and receive a prescription, if you use it and it doesn't work, you usually don't think to yourself, I'm never going to try medication again, because it's all useless. What you think is, that medication didn't work well on my body, so I need to go back to the doctor and ask her for something different. We've been programmed this way. We understand that medications affect people differently. Essential oils are similar in the fact that each oil is not going to have the exact same effect on every single person. So if you use an oil and don't get the results you're looking for, that's okay. We can try something else. If you're patient enough with essential oils like you are with medication, we'll find something that's safer, cheaper, and more effective for you. Okay, so with all of that, like, just memorize it, decide you're going to say that to whoever it is that you're giving a sample. That gives them the space to, like, when you're asking them how things went with the Melaleuca or whatever, they don't feel like they have to, either lie to you or anything like that, because you've already given them that little seed in the back of their mind. It's okay. She's going to work with me. She's going to be a good, long-term friend. And, if it didn't work the way that we thought that first time, she's going to continue helping me. And so it's really, really helpful to have that going on, right? As we here's the other thing about tell them how to use it and what to look for. So you'll give them the view, like especially if you, in this case we're talking about for sleep, when you're getting into bed tonight, rub a few drops of serenity on your temples and also raise your pillow. Now honestly, I don't tell people to put it on their pillow because I'm like, this is some high quality oil, I want it on my, like on my body, you know. So I would change this to be you know, put some on your wrist creases, and then as you lay down with your hand, you know, and your wrist close by your nose, breathe it in, take slow, deep breaths, feel a wonderful calm come over you. You'll feel more relaxed. You should sleep better. But remember, if you don't get the results that you're hoping for, we can try something else. I'll call you in 2 days to see how it goes. This is the next one that you've got to memorize. It's around when is the best time to call. Okay, so you want them to be expecting you to be a good friend, to follow up. Yeah, if you say, okay, I'll give you a call in 2 days to see how it goes, that's going to be Wednesday. Around when is the best time to call? I promise they don't feel hunted down. They feel like you care. And that's a huge, huge difference about how all this plays out. So, after you give them that, and you set up your phone call. So 2 days after you gave them a sample, you actually should call on the phone. Don't email, don't text. It's really not very effective. We find people kind of not wanting to write it out. But if you actually have them on the phone, they'll tell you exactly how they used it and all that kind of stuff. So you say, hey, have you had the opportunity to use that Serenity yet, or whatever thing it may be? And most often they're going to say no because they're being honest, and they didn't actually try it yet. And so you say, that's okay, here's what we're going to do. When you get home tonight and start getting ready for bed, and then you tell them, like, you put some on your wrist and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you tell them, but remember, if you don't get the results you're looking for, I can bring you another oil. Right, so you let them know that you'll give them a call in the morning to see how it goes. Now, the next morning, they still may not have had the opportunity to use it. So if no, that's okay. Here's what we're going to do. Go get that Serenity. We're going to put some on right now and have a little oil experience as we talk. So you're going to give them the instructions. They're going to at least, like, no, it's not for, like, to see if they sleep better. That, like, it's because we're doing it in the daytime. It's not super ideal, but we just need to get them to actually use it, right? It's no use to them if they keep it in their purse from that day or whatever. And when they use their sample and they know for, like, it's actually there, and you ask them, how was your experience? Now, sometimes they might not have had a great experience. Like, it's possible they may have felt like that Serenity made it all the worse. Like, they were waking up all the time and they just heard all the frogs outside, and, you know, it just sounds so terrible. Don't react or sound surprised if it didn't go as well. Like, anything less than awesome, you're basically going to tell them, well, obviously that wasn't the right oil for you. So here's what we're going to do. If you'll continue to be patient with the process, I'll keep trying to find an oil that works for you. Um, you know, this vetiver is another one that I think you'll have better results from. I'm going to get you a sample of the vetiver. We'll see if that's the best one to help your sleeplessness. And when we found it, you're going to be so happy that you have something safer and more effective and affordable. Right, so then you're going to give them a new thing, and it all starts over again. So this is a sample flow chart in case you're kind of having a hard time getting it in your mind. And I think we do have a link to this flow chart. This one seems like the words aren't coming out quite as clear, which I know what it says, but I don't know if if it'll come through on the thing. But it just looks a little fuzzy somehow. I'm not sure why, but you can see, so you invite somebody to try the sample first, you call them and they say, oh yeah, I would love to have a little bit of something for my sleeplessness. So you deliver it to them, and you set the expectations at that time. After 2 days, you call to check in. They said, oh, you can call me while I'm driving to work, at such and such time. Great. Well, you set it in your phone. You make sure you get a little alert so that you can call them on the phone, ask them how it went. So if they tried it and it was so great, if it was so awesome, then you'll just move on to inviting them to a class. and calling them a couple days before and sending them a text, and that's great. So like this is the ideal way. If everything goes awesome, yes, 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 then it just, we have them come and we'll send them a reminder before they come. If they did try it, but it wasn't a super good experience, then we basically jump right back to delivering the sample of the next thing so that we can, have them have another awesome experience. What often happens, you guys will find this to be true, is at your 2-day check-in, you call them on their way to work on Wednesday morning or whatever, and it turns out they didn't try it. That's okay. Here's what we're gonna do. This and that. Here's the instructions. Try it again. So they may not have still tried it. So that's okay. Here's what we're gonna do, right? So this is just kind of an easy little flow chart to basically get everybody eventually to the part where we can invite them to the class. And so some portions you have to start back over at delivering the sample. Sometimes you have to start back over at arranging another phone call, or you may have to start back over with the actual oil itself. But so all of these really do end up being a very caring and friendly way for us to share oils with people and give them a really good experience before we're ever asking them to buy. So when we invite somebody to a class, what does that look like? So if they've had a great, super fantastic experience with the oils, where they already, by the time they talk to you, they already called a neighbor and they told their mom that they had their best night's sleep ever, or whatever thing it may be, when they're really, really impressed, then you say, if you think serenity is awesome, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's incredible how many things you can solve with essential oils. And then, you can share about that back pain that your husband had for so long, or you can talk about the allergies that you used to be a zombie with other, over-the-counter medications for, and how it's just so much better now. Whatever true thing it is, like in your real experience. So you share a couple things and you say, here's what we're going to do. There's an amazing essential oils class on Wednesday at 8:15 and another on Thursday at 1:15 in the afternoon to be able to, fit with these different people's schedules. My friend Amanda teaches those, or Marcella teaches those, whoever it may be there at that particular time. And I think what you'll learn could change your life. And I'd love for you to come. Which of those two times works better for you? Obviously, if they have pets, then you're going to want to invite them to the pet class as well. It's coming up this Saturday. That would be another really, really good one. So yeah, just be in connection with Marcella or I, or some other people that may, are kind of doing the teaching of the classes a little bit more. And we'd like to be able to set that in for you guys so you can know when those are available for you. But typically every Wednesday at 8:15, you can ask me for the link and I will send you something to have your friend pop into. And then every Thursday at 1:15, we'll do a late evening and a lunchish time to get that situated for people of different schedules. All right, so so you set the date and the time. You let them know that that you're gonna call them 2 days beforehand to make sure that they remember. Like their attendance rates really do increase. If you go ahead and be like, hey, I'm excited to see you Thursday. We're going to talk more about the essential oils and anxiety because I know your daughter was struggling with that. There's going to be parking on the street. Just find the closest spot. So you just kind of give them a vision of being there when they said that they would be. And then 2 hours before, and you're going to send a text and let them know that you're excited to see them. If you have a gift for them, that would be like a good thing to kind of insert there as well. And that's pretty much it. So they're gonna come to the class, and we'll talk about the class another time. So that's the basics of getting started, like how to sample effectively and give them a really solid, fantastic experience so that they will be looking to find out more about essential oils, like inviting them to a class after they've already like told their neighbor and called up their mom to say how fantastic they slept or whatever. That's the kind of experience that we want to invite somebody on, because those people are going to have a really, they're just going to be very open to learning more. Okay, So Marcella has included a couple of those good links for you guys if you need the flow chart that was looking a little fuzzy on that last one. You have that in there. We'll make sure we put that in the show notes as well. Okay, cool. So I'm just realizing I was a dork here. I didn't give you guys any questions this whole time. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so question number 1 is, if you could only share one essential oil ever in your whole life, meaning like you don't get to change it out for something else, like you know, you can't pick one today and a different one tomorrow. If you could only give somebody a fantastic experience with one essential oil ever, which one would that be? Meaning most likely that's like what's been the biggest effect for you that you think somebody else is going to benefit from. So what's the one essential oil that if you couldn't change it for the rest of your sampling, you know, life, which one would it be that you love the most? So that's your first question. What would be your one choice? I also would love if you guys would put in the comments what the first essential oil was that somebody sampled you with. So most of you are here and you have your own account because somebody gave you a sample, invited you to a class. Maybe it wasn't the exact flow of like what we've just went over. Maybe they didn't wait for you to have a good experience before they invited you. Maybe you sampled it while you were at the class, whatever. But go ahead and put in the comments also what it was that you received as a sample for your first time as well. Oh, I'm seeing Debbie. Yes, you're right. No samples yet. I remember that relationship with you because we just met each other at the market, right? Frankincense, a great one. Yeah. Oh man, Frank helps so much. Right. Peppermint, Serenity, Balance. First sample was On Guard. Yeah, that was a good one, Gina. It's fun because I had these like, you know, memories of some of you guys doing that. Okay, all right, so we've covered 2 questions. How about the third question is, what is the last oil that you diffused? Now, this is going to be like the most fantastic list of oils, right? Because you have all the things that you really, you know, if you could only sample one for the rest of your life, if you like what your first sample was, and then what oil you last diffused. It's going to be just a whole big list of oils, but Purify, that's a good one. Yeah. Island Mint, nice job, Marie. Good stuff. Yeah, Marcella actually has got me into Island Mint with a little bit of Magnolia, and that has been amazing. So if you guys, you know, and of course diffusing the Magnolia is a little bit different because it comes in the touch version, but I've managed to do that. It's good. Use a pipette. Okay, and then the last thing is if you guys would like a sample of something, if you'd like me to send you, you know, something either that you can pass on to a buddy of yours who, like, maybe you know she really needs the vetiver, but you don't have vetiver. You know, I could send you a sample of vetiver that you could pass to your buddy. So that would be one thing. Or if there's something that you've been considering getting, but you're not sure if you're going to like it, I could also do that. I usually do this because if we're meeting in my home, I'm often sending people away with something, you know, that they've been curious about, or I'm, you know, having people indulge in this fantastic essential oil infused brownies or hummus with veggies with have like lemongrass or lemon in it, and everybody just gets a little bit of extra love when we're meeting in person. And so I like to extend that to make it for when we're not meeting in person either, if I can. So if there's a sample of something that you would like, go ahead and put that in the comments as well. All right, love, sorry that I put that so late and kind of jumbled there at the mess, but I also want to try to be consistent, make sure I have the questions and all my things so that when people watch the recording that they do get to at least have something to show that they participated. But if there's no other questions, then I will stop my recording.